going on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. Nadeska, Akademiks, and Wayno here. It's good.
Are you trying to be you? Anyway, what up?
Starting off on the right foot today.
Of course.
Right.
It's Thursday.
It is.
It's Thursday. We made it.
It is. Well, we had 3 days today, technically, right?
It was a very short, long week for us.
It's a weird week. Like I don't travel much and like come in like Monday or whatever, but like this was a weird week. Tuesday felt like Monday, but it also felt like Thursday.
Wayno been looking at you funny all week. That's been consistent.
Yo, you've been looking at your little close-up this whole time, man. We started, like, the camera's on.
Is my lipstick still on? I don't know if it just came off on my coffee mug. That's
anytime,
all.
like, I wish the audience
Oh, God,
knew,
enough with the narrative, bro. Enough with the bullshit narrative. Stop it.
That looks to the right,
not going to let you talk
themselves.
today. Anyway, guys, let's just get into the show.
There's
So
no
Akademiks is not just talking
Looking at
nonsense
that nasty hat of
today.
his.
You don't like the Bucks? You a hater.
They won last night. It was a good game. But that's a nasty Bucks hat.
You a hater.
Got a jersey under your brim. You should be ashamed of yourself. Let's go. Let's start the show.
All right, so a couple days ago, we were having this conversation about sort of artists like graduating to different media outlets once they blow up, not like, you know, working with the hip hop collective. So Nicki Minaj tweeted and deleted something that upset some people. So this happened on Tuesday, very briefly. Did she put this up until she deleted it, suggesting that maybe she prefers being covered by white media over black media outlets. So she wrote, "The blacks only post a few seconds where I raise my voice to push their narrative. Queen Radio back in a few days, stay tuned." And saying what the white people post is better than that. So this included a clip from E! Nightly Pop where they were actually covering her feud with Wendy Williams. Of course, people had a lot of things to say about this. What do you guys think?
I want to hear what you got to say first, only because like I got some thoughts on it, but I want to know where you're going to go.
I wish we had the audio that when she was getting that Wendy. But honestly, like, all these entertainers are fucking ungrateful. They're the worst. Like, rappers, they're the fucking worst. Like, when it comes to media, you know, really, and again, I don't know necessarily which black people she's talking about, but I saw when recently, you know, she's been in marriage mode, you know, like she's been with her husband. A lot of people are happy for her. The Shade Room posts every bullshit, like, you know what I mean? And it's not bullshit to them. Like, you know, their audience, they care about, like, y'all being happy at the center.
Bullshit for them.
Maybe even hints at, like, babies or whatever. She had tweeted out, like, expecting and left it open-ended. They reposted it. And she then commented, because a lot of people were like attacking her, she commented on the blog saying, "Don't post me anymore." Mm-hmm. And really, I don't think she mad at the blog. I think she mad at the people that are like reacting or making up their own narratives or saying, "Damn, you know, like saying whatever about her." This is why I don't like most of these entertainers. They all build their core from the shade rooms, like all of these within the culture media outlets. And once they get to a certain point, they all stick the middle finger up. Because you know why? They get to a point where if they feel they can't control them anymore, they don't need them. You know, like, I mean, shoot, I like Cardi B, but she's the same thing. They used to, the Shade Room and all these other outlets post your funny videos when you're coming up. You didn't tell them, yo, stop posting my shit, man. As soon as you get to the point where now you're like almost this pop star where you perhaps don't need them, start shitting on them a little bit. Like, I kind of feel a little way about that. And also, you can't control those outlets. You know, like, artists tend to think at a certain point they control media or they hate them.
I just think I be, you know what? In this case, like, I don't like the blacks thing and, you know, with the whites post versus the blacks, but I do feel a little bit sorry for Nicki, like, over this past year. And, I think that, you know.
Sorry.
Yeah, really? I feel a little bit sorry for her. Not completely.
On this topic or just overall?
Overall a bit.
Okay.
And I think that plays into why she says some of the shit that she's saying. It's only because, like, yeah, she did build herself through the Breakfast Clubs and the Shade Rooms and the Ball Alerts, all of those pages. But it's like, you know, any inclination where there's a side of blood in the water, then the sharks come. And I feel like, you know, for the most part, yeah, I'm not gonna say that she's right for everything she's done over the past year. She did a lot of bullshit, but at the same time, I think it's so easy how we forget how much we loved her in certain instances, you know. And I think that sometimes because artists bug out a lot, sometimes they be looking for some compassion. The thing is the artists are not compassionate, so it doesn't like go hand in hand if you get what I'm saying.
No, I hear you on that. I just feel like it's just unfair to like target like outlets that help build you. And really, it's not the outlets, you know, like.
They building the content themselves. Because that's one thing, real quick, that's one thing that I kind of learned by being around you is like, I remember I asked Ack when I first got here, like, yo, why you post certain shit? He was like, I just repost what niggas is posting. It's not like I didn't make them do nothing, or I didn't make them say this. I just repost it, and it's the captions that gets people out of whack sometimes.
Right.
But they giving you the content to post. It's like, if you post a open-ended question, right? Like, or if you say expecting, yeah, of course, the first thing people gonna say is a baby. You know what I mean? Or like, that's the first thing.
And I don't even think that's what it was, because I think Shade Room was pretty fair, you know? And this is why it's also hypocritical, right? When it was beneficial, when Cardi was going through her whole thing and she told the Shade Room, stop posting me, Nicki ran up in the comment section saying, yo, I love the black queens that run in like the Shade Room. Now you get a little hint of criticism. And again, it's not even the media outlet, it's the fans. You can never control what the fans say. I've had mad people mad artists get upset at me, but it's what the fans are saying in reaction to whatever the news story is. Like, I could tell you what those comments were saying, a lot of them. A lot of those comments was criticizing her marriage with the guy she's with.
Right.
That might be a sensitive subject to her.
It is.
And it's something that if she did feel a certain type of way, it's within her right too. But I don't think that's on the Shade Room. You know, like they can't control how their roommates or whatever feel about like her in terms of that. Yeah. They're seeing everything and they're like reacting. So that's where I'm like, yo, don't shit on that outlet to go help another one. Because in reality, when it's album time, them outlets ain't gonna help you sell no CDs. It's gonna be the breakfast clubs, it's gonna be the Shade Rooms, it's gonna be the double XLs, it's gonna be everyday struggles. These are the outlets that really push your shit forward.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't and I feel like they, you know, when the whites post, like, I just think like, all right, this the same shit, not the same exact thing, because Nori actually called me and gave me some context behind what he was saying. But when you go to these other outlets, they don't really know you. Like, that's how I really feel. Like, they don't know you. They wasn't there when you was on the rise. Like, none of these guys are doing like grassroots type of shit to build artists. It's like, once you have a hit or Grammy nominated record, then they fucking with you. You know, so I get, that's why you should always go back. Like, you know, Angie Martinez, I hope she gets well. But that's why she has so much respect, because she was the person giving Tupac his first interviews, Jay his first interviews, and 20 years later, she could get those favors back. So to me, it's like hand in hand. I feel sorry for Nicki in the space of like what the music industry has kind of done to her over the last year. But I also feel like a lot of it she's done to herself, in a sense.
I feel bad for her, but I feel bad for her because at moments where, like you heard me say last week, at moments where you think she's happy, she seems unhappy. Like, and it's like one of those things where I don't know if she'll get to a place of happiness. I was like, hey, you know, she said she retired, she's stepping away from music, she's getting married, she's focused on family life. Like, this seems like a move for mental wellness and also happiness. And you still see like discomfort and also unhappiness.
I mean, it's hard to have the internet criticizing like your marriage. That's something like very personal. I know you're immune to anything the internet says about you, but some people have feelings. It happens.
No, we all have feelings.
I tell you one thing,
especially when it's that personal.
I'm gonna keep it 100, yo. That gram is a motherfucker, yo. People can't stay away from it. Like, the simplest thing, right? And don't get me wrong, like, of course, like or just social media, period. The simplest thing would be, you know what? Let me just leave this shit alone. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it alone.
That's what you used to always say. You could just turn it off.
You could turn it off.
It's not that easy, though.
I mean, it's not, but it's like, I just feel like, okay, if you really that frustrated where it's a part of your life. I mean, I grew up in an era where I had to fucking put quarters in. I had to put an extra quarter in the phone to talk for 10 more minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to leave this shit alone. But so many people is kind of an addiction. We really see, there's not even a study on how social media has really affected a person's mind.
There is though, but they talk more about sort of the upcoming generation. Like, imagine like experiencing your whole life just being compared to people constantly day in, day out. It's definitely not good.
So what do we think? Do we think like artists, like, you know, I think sometimes the perception is that like you don't see Drake on social media a lot, so it doesn't affect him. I think those are the people it affects the most.
It does, because he limited the comments.
Like, I think people look at like the Wale's and be like, yo, this nigga just stayed tweaking and he's doing it wrong. No, I think the Nicki's, like, I think even Rihanna, like, they're all really in tune. They read everything about them, and it's just how they respond. You know, like, again, that, like, this whole thing where I even think this tweet, and then you know, I gave a little context where she had told the Shade Room to stop posting her. It was a snowball effect because right before that, it was a whole little like firestorm, at least in like the gossip blog community, where people were like, "Yo, did she buy her ring?" Then I see like she made a video, kind of like a little joking video for Halloween, where she was like doing a little skit with her dude, still getting criticism. So I'm thinking that she's doing that on a reactionary tip, so you know, to answer what people are saying. Yeah. But again, it's still not good enough. You know, on the internet, you can't really win.
You know what's crazy? It's just like, whether she did or didn't buy her ring, so fucking what? Like,
yeah, I don't particularly care on that. Yeah. But I do see, like, I feel like she's trying to answer what some of like the backlash is, or sometimes what people are saying about her. And we often think like social media don't fuck with people. It fucks with everybody. Mm-hmm. And if it's just a weird rant, like most time you see a celebrity going to rant online, it's because they see the Summer Walker thing. I think it's a lot of social media and fame. Mm-hmm. You know, like she recently said, yo, she's kind of tired of all this shit. Yeah. It becomes a lot.
It definitely does. Plus, once you open up your personal life, like on the internet, it's another level. Yeah, you know what I mean? You have to like be prepared for that, unfortunately. You want to share your love, you got to fucking deal with the criticism of your love. It sucks.
Your love is for you, though. That's what I just be feeling. Your love is for you. It's not for everybody. Yeah. You know?
And lastly, listen, I'll forgive Nicki for this. As long as when is her album dropping, she don't run. They should just do an interview with the Shade Room. Like, as long as you don't run back to
she forgive you, nigga. Like,
no, she don't forgive me. Like, Nicki ain't never give me a dollar.
Queen Rain's fire.
You get, like, right. She got Queen Rain tonight, you never know.
Right.
Yo, as long as, like, listen, if you shit on these outlets and, like, you take one album cycle to promote and you're fucking with the E's and your E News, like, nothing wrong with them, but, like, that's the route you're going because you're either scared of criticism or black people showcase wrong parts about you. Don't, when you need it, run back.
Yeah, listen, I'll use one quote from The Dark Knight when the Joker said, no, I'm dead serious, yo. He told Batman, he said, you're not one of them. He said, the moment that they see who you really are, they'll cast you out like a leper. For real.
Wow.
Real shit. That movie got mad amazing quotes, yo. Heath Ledger, rest in peace.
I love it.
They'll cash your ass out. So you can go to them, but at the moment where you upset they shit, they not going, you know?
That is true. And also, to keep it real, if we want to be fair, I feel like I have so much context to this because the media thing always strikes a nerve with me.
I see.
And back 2 to 3 years ago when the whole VMAs thing happened between her and Miley, a lot of the white outlets really casted her as, like, you could see all the pictures they used of her from TMZ all the way to E! News, and she looked like the angry, loud black woman who was shouting at this white, pale, like, unseasoned chicken. You feel me? And
unseasoned.
No, seriously. And that was the narrative they were posting, and from my recollection, it was more like cultural context to say, nah, this chick was sneak dissing. That's what happens when you get pulled up on. Fuck it. You get me? So again,
it just wasn't the source it was. That's what was the difference. I mean, seriously, like, it depends on where you at. That's why they did that. Depends on where you at.
I guess. Just don't come back to the black outlets.
Well, look, speaking of the internet being critical of your personal and family life, this is one of the weirdest stories I have to report on all year. So T.I. was recently on the Ladies Like Us podcast, where he was talking about accompanying his daughter to the gynecologist. Check it out.
It's Deja, right? She's 18,
yes,
right?
Deja's 18, just graduated high school now, and she's attending her first year of college, figuring it out for herself. And yes, not only have we had the conversation, we have yearly trips to the gynecologist to check her height.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so T.I. takes his daughter to the gynecologist often, and then this happened.
I said, look, dog,
She's not.
she don't ride no horses, she don't ride no bikes, she don't play no sports, man. Just check the hymen, please, and give me back my results.
Oh, dear.
Expeditiously.
Expeditiously.
But I will say, as of her 18th birthday, her hymen is still intact.
I can't tell you guys how happy I am that Wayno's here for this conversation today. Can you imagine just talking academics about this? Wait, hold on real quick. Okay. So, of course, some people had things to say about this. Iggy Azalea, who's been criticized by T.I. a lot recently, used this as her opportunity to jump in saying, I won't say it, but I'll leave you with this. And it included a link to an article on how to spot a misogynist. So while people were tweeting about this controversy, T.I.'s daughter actually started liking some of the tweets which were calling out her dad for taking her to the gynecologist. And Planned Parenthood decided to hop in on this conversation, saying some people think you can tell if someone's had sex before if their hymen is stretched open, but that's not the case.
Okay.
Wayno, what are your
Well, Wayno the only
thoughts,
nigga
man?
here with his kids.
I know, that's why I'm
Yeah,
so grown
yeah.
and a female kids
I mean,
too. So
I listen.
just please let him just start.
Go ahead.
Well, no. All right. So look, first and foremost, I want to just say like, that's his daughter, yo. It's his fucking daughter. It's so crazy how everybody can give an opinion. Like, he's not abusing his daughter, nothing, right? It's his daughter. Did he say that, oh, I don't, no, of course no man wants to know that his daughter's out here having sex, which that's gonna happen. Nobody can stop that. But while I'm not saying like, oh, I would do the same thing, I'm just happy that he cares enough to even to ask that. Now, people might think that's extreme, but it's his fucking child, yo. Can't tell that man how he should feel with his child or what he should or shouldn't do with his daughter. That's it. It's not everybody else's daughter. It's everybody else's article to give an opinion on.
Right.
But it's not everybody else's daughter. It's his daughter. You know?
I respect it. Hey, I'll just say, seems a little creepy, man. I mean, I think it's the level of detail he goes into.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, like I mean,
what?
It seems a little bit too much. Seems a little bit too much, and it also like, would he go that far? I know that there's no similar thing in terms of a son. Is he doing the same for his son or just his daughter?
Okay, it's funny that you asked that. Guys,
Okay.
we have a lot of off-the-records conversations about relationships here. Ak always says, of course, the wildest shit. We've talked about
what
you
are you talking
potentially having a daughter and how you would treat her.
Yeah, I don't want no daughter
Don't
till
try to act
2020. You
different now.
crazy.
Don't try to act different now.
No, but I'm not doing that. That, like, honestly, I feel like that's
you know what?
invasive.
I would
As
hope
your
so.
daughter is becoming a young woman.
Right.
And just even looking at the tweets that she was liking, like it's you're becoming too invasive.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
you want to have that relationship with her that, like, listen, you could probably help guide her and parent her. Again, I'm not a parent, so I could be just off. I'm just thinking logically in terms of how I would probably approach it, right?
Right.
Of course, I don't want my daughter out here doing no wild shit. I don't even want a daughter in 2020. Like this, we living in the cucumber challenge age. I don't want a daughter in this
This
age
is how
at
all the
all.
conversations
Real talk.
go.
But.
Yeah.
To be just a thought of showing up to her doctor's appointment, and then, you know, apparently she just turned 18, which means she 18, she got to tell a doctor to show you the results. I just feel like
It's also just weird
I feel like that's invasive, yo.
Yeah,
And
I
also,
wonder if he was being 100% serious too.
and this is what I instantly comes to mind. If you're doing that in that area with her, what else are you doing to the degree that's either it seems a little forceful or uncomfortable for your daughter?
Well, I'll say this, right? To be to have a daughter that's of age where she could be potentially be having sex or whatever. You know, it's a scary thing as a young man to potentially become a grandfather. You know what I'm saying? So I think that now this is just me speaking for myself. I can't speak for T.I., but if your daughter is having sex, there's a lot of other conversations that need to be had after that. So I'm just saying, like, if I was trying to find out that information, it would be for us to have certain type of conversations. Are you protecting yourself? Who's the guy? Like, you know what I mean? It's so many. And for sons, like you said, like, is he doing that with his sons? I would hope so. Because I talked to my son, like, I didn't have my dad in my household. My mother was the one that had to talk to me about sex and girls, and that was, I wouldn't say it was awkward because it was just me and my mom, it was just me and my mom for 10 years until my little sister was born. But I had to get that conversation from my mom and not my dad. You know what I mean? Like, for him to I think that people are negating the fact that he cares. Yeah, it might be a little bit invasive. It might be a little bit over than what we're used to. But I'm just looking at the fact that he cares about his daughter. Now, anything else that comes after that, it comes back.
And I mean, we could assume if he's doing all of this, he's doing all those things that you're saying, right? Having all the other conversations.
Yeah,
but I
other
just think for
conversations that
her,
need to
like,
be had.
even if like he was stretching a little bit, just embellishing to be funny, it's just a lot to put your young daughter in this situation. You know, all her
Can't you have
friends
those
and everyone.
conversations with that, like, even if like she was, and then I also think just because I'm looking at it as a very uncomfortable position. Again, just
Shit, you want to talk about invasive fathers? Talk to the Dominican girl. They, for real.
Yo,
They got some invasive
are
fathers.
you bringing the doctor one time and they said the hymen's broken or whatever it is? What you about to do? What you gonna do, Tia?
Does the doctor even legally have to tell you that? I don't know how old his daughter is. Like,
but
I don't
that's
think
what I'm
they
saying.
even have to share
You
that
just said,
information. That's why I wonder how much.
according to
fact it is.
the HIPAA
She's
laws,
18,
she has to sign the consent
look,
to share her treatment
With her
results
father,
with her
right?
father.
Yeah.
Now, if it is he gonna go kill a kid or something? Is he gonna kill? No, I'm just thinking like from a dad's perspective. All right, there's other conversations that needs to be had because if you're gonna be doing this, listen. We all here because your pops like your moms, like you know what I'm saying. Like there's other conversations that need to be had if you are having sex. That's the only thing I take from it. Now, yeah, T.I., he might be over the top. I'm talking for myself. As a father. If you find out your daughter's having sex, then it's all right. Are you protecting yourself? And you want to just make sure that your daughter's safe no matter what, bro. Like, that's the biggest thing.
And also, like, we live in the world of 2019. There ain't no fucking doctor check for if your daughter's giving oral sex. You know, so again, like, that's not the end all be all if you go with her to the doctor.
It's not, but, like...
I think that you just got to educate. You got to educate them. And honestly, like, at a certain point, you ain't going to be with them all the time. You know?
Yo, bro, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, there's nothing you can do about it, but once...
Just pray you don't have a daughter.
No, don't pray that you don't have a daughter. It's beautiful having daughters. Once you do have a daughter, just be honest with them and talk to them. And don't talk at them, but with them. You know what I mean? To learn, because then they're going to try to hide everything from you if you're talking at them all the time.
I wonder how the mother thinks about, like, that. Yeah. And if she's, like, complicit in that happening, and a part of it, or she's like, listen, that's just a T.I. thing.
Yeah. I mean, yo, you know, and I should say that, like, no matter how old your kid gets, they'll always be your baby. You know what I mean? So that you'll always have that sentiment of, like, that's my baby. Like, you know what I mean? No matter what. I'm still like that with my mom. You like that with your mother. You stay your mother's baby.
Yeah, nah, bro, the imagery of T.I. in the fucking waiting room at a gynecologist,
all right,
bro.
let's move on. Enough.
You know what I mean? Talking about
All types of new words.
I need the results expeditiously. Like, it just looks.
It's like sex
I ain't mad at
education
you,
with
Ted. I
everyday
ain't mad at
struggle.
you, brother.
All
I
right,
ain't mad
man. All right, let's get back to some music. So today for Big Facts or BS, we have Bizzy Bone sharing his thoughts on the future landscape of rap. Take a look.
No, because social media now, they chew you up.
It spit
and
you
they
out.
spit you right on
Here today,
out.
gone tonight.
Man, you better make a good investment in one of these apps, pimpin'. You better get your model on, pimpin'.
So you're saying that no artist today will be relevant in 25 years?
Big
facts.
BS.
Okay.
Big BS. While I do love Bizzy Bone's contributions and everything he's done with Bone Thugs and Harmony over the years, he's bugging. He's really bugging because I think that when you say artists, you're thinking of all the artists you don't like. You know what I mean? Like you didn't say anything about it, J. Cole, and not just J. Cole. Like I feel like Soulja Boy will still be a part of a conversation in hip hop, regardless to what anybody says. That nigga's made hit records. He got tons of great moments. While he might not be a lyrical artist, he has shit to talk about forever. And you could go on for days with that. I just think that when Bizzy Bone says shit like this, he's out of touch with what's going on right now, and he's just thinking about what they did. Because if we're talking about relevance in a hip-hop daily conversation, Bizzy Bone not relevant. But if we're talking about hip-hop history, absolutely. And I think that regardless to how you might feel about these one-hit wonders, there's always been one-hit wonders, a lot of these kids will still be talked about for something, one way or another.
At least some of them.
Yeah.
I think what he meant by saying relevant, name an artist that's been relevant for 25 years. Because I don't know none.
Shit, I can name a few.
That's been relevant for the entire 25
Well, relevant. Well, how do we? What's the criteria for relevance?
I guess still either active or in the conversation.
And he's saying specifically music, right? No other business.
Roger, you said Will Smith, bro. Yo, get out of my ear. Hey, no. In reality, I think the word he really meant to use was remembered. They won't be remembered in 25 years. Because no artist, I haven't seen an artist's career that spanned 25 years where they've been active for the majority part of that 25 years. And do I think an artist that's out now or who just came out will be remembered in 25 years? Yeah, a few. Not a lot, but a few. Like, you know?
It's a nice amount, though.
I'm sorry, I think Post Malone's going to be remembered in 25 years.
Of course.
Yeah.
Travis Scott will be remembered in 25 years.
Yeah, I agree, you know? And I think maybe, well, this is me assuming maybe what he's talking about, but I'm trying to make sense of nonsense in terms of what he said. Maybe he's talking about like the artists that came out in the last 1 or 2 years and mostly just kind of like the mumble rappers. I don't know what it is. Like, even
that's why I think he's
there's
saying.
1 or 2 that I think will be remembered.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that he's talking about just what he might not like. Remember, he was having a problem with the Migos, right? To think that the Migos won't be a part of some sort of conversation in hip hop 20 years from now, or celebrated for culture, or fucking Cardi B and Offset's relationship and the music they made together and fucking motorsport 20 years from now is crazy, because everything that's coming out now is for the youth. The youth is gonna one day mature and be older adults, and they're gonna remember all of these things. So I don't understand.
Future gonna be on a Mount Rushmore somewhere with 25 kids. In 25 years. You know what I mean? Like, Future will be remembered, man.
Of course, Future. That's what I'm saying. Future. It's tons of people though. But that's what I'm saying. If you look up, all right, talking about relevance, by next year, it'll be 20 years since Ludacris dropped his first album.
Are you serious?
Back for the first time. That came out the year 2000. And I'm not just gonna go off New York artists, but South artists. I mean, Young Jeezy, you know what I mean? Like, Young Jeezy will be remembered forever. Shit, whether it's relevant or not, I'm still gonna remember Lil Flip. I still remember Fam Lay. That means something to me. I still remember everything about the Neptunes and what they did. Nori's album, The War Report, that shit came out in '97. We about to be in 2020. Nori's still relevant. He might not be rapping every day, but he has a relevant podcast.
I don't want to pick on Lil Flip. I was gonna interject. I don't want to flip.
We don't want to pick on Lil Flip. Hey, he had a beef with T.I. that will be talked about forever.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think he has moments that will be remembered.
I mean,
will his career be remembered?
Not his, but that's why I said, how do we quantify what the relevance is? Like, it's almost like the list shit. What is the relevance factor? Like, because if we're talking about relevance, it's a lot of things that become relevant to our everyday conversation. But we, of course, nigga, Bone Thugs and Harmony, they not, like right now, being played on the radio, even if they are dropping new music. That doesn't mean that they're irrelevant completely, but in the conversation of hip-hop on a daily, if he's not saying this, what's the last thing we seen him do? When the police ran up in his house, right?
You have a good memory.
He pulled out the musket.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, so before that, what's the last time you had checked for Bizzy?
They put out this song too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yo, he bugging out, man.
Exactly, he's bugging out.
And
And that's another thing. Like, he's also legendary too. I would not ever take that from him. He worked with Big and Pac.
I'm gonna call BS on that as well.
Yeah, it's big BS. Big
BS on that.
All right, so you guys feel like taking a little trip down memory lane then? Speaking of 25 years, no, it's not been 25 years, but this week in hip-hop, Jay-Z did release his 10th studio album, American Gangster. Obviously, that was in conjunction with the movie of the same title starring Denzel Washington. That was November 6, 2007. Production from Diddy and the Hitman, Just Blaze, Neptunes, features from Beanie Sigel, Lil Wayne, Pharrell, and more. So the big singles here were Blue Magic, Rock Boys, and I Know. So this did debut at number 1, selling 425,000 copies, well, a little bit more than that in the first week. Did this album age well for you guys?
This album was a really good. Actually, it was a classic soundtrack.
It's great, yeah.
This, like, it played. If you watch the movie, this album played just as well. Like, you know, just in terms of how it was even sequenced. I believe, unless I'm tripping, maybe in 2000, the 2006 he released Kingdom Come. Or
2006.
Yeah, so he retired Black Album, and then came back with Kingdom Come, which a lot of people ain't like. And then this, I think this was just one of those moments again that it was like, yo, man, in case y'all forgot with that Kingdom Come shit, like, it's Hove, you know? This is a classic album, clearly, you know? So, I mean, there's not much for me to say about it.
Wasn't there supposed to be a continuation of Rock Boys or something?
I don't know.
At the outro of the video? Am I tripping?
To be continued, videos never continue. They never continue.
Hello Brooklyn sticks out. Of course, the Rock Boy, and the winner is like I think.
You liked Hello Brooklyn?
Mm-hmm. No, that was the first single though. Like I didn't really like it as much, but like once we got to and the winner is or
the Rock Boys,
that shit was just fire.
Ignorant Shit's amazing.
Ignorant Shit
Ignorant, you know,
he put Beanie Seal on that, right?
Because Ignorant Shit was a old song. Like it was a song was from like 02, 03. It was from 03. It ended up making it later on.
It's songs like Success and how it plays into the movie, like directly into the movie, is why this feels like chapters of the movie. You feel me? Fallen. You get me? Blue Magic. Look at this nigga. I say something good about Jay-Z. This nigga blushing.
I'm laughing at you.
Why? Nah, this
I'm
is
just
great.
laughing at your synopsis. Like it plays into.
No, it does. It does. Like
once you switch on DVD from this track, you play this.
Like I ain't gonna lie. After Kingdom Come, I was like, man, oh no.
Well, you know the biggest thing about
but
Kingdom Come was that everybody was just critical about Jay not rapping about drugs anymore and not rapping about street shit.
Was Lost Ones on Kingdom Come?
Yeah.
I fuck with that song.
Yeah, Lost Ones was on Kingdom Come.
He was talking about Beyonce acting up. I like that song.
What he's talking
was.
Lost Ones he was talking about.
And he was talking about his
Jay,
friend that died in the car crash.
No, it's his
Cousin.
nephew. It's his nephew, and he was talking about splitting from Dame and Biggs on Lost Ones. But like, I ain't gonna front, yo. This album is good, but it's not one of my more favorite Jay-Z albums.
But it's cool, like always, like
Yo,
enjoy
I know
going
with
back to
Pharrell-
listen
I know
to
it's
it.
amazing.
Yeah,
Oh
great
my
songs
God.
on
I
there.
have to shout out Sean C and LV because they was a big part of the production. A lot of people didn't know their names like that, but they was big on Terror Squad and all that. But they did a lot of this album, like Party Life. They did a few joints on here. But I mean, no, this is a good album. I hated Hello Brooklyn. I ain't gonna lie. And Blue Magic. I hated Blue Magic.
I
and
know
Hello Brooklyn.
until I heard it out somewhere and like I heard all that percussion shit.
So
Like I
good.
think it was maybe Club or something like that. They were playing all Jay.
Yeah, I miss when Pharrell just like does full on beats and hooks like on some rap shit. You know what I mean?
Loosely, where would you guys put this in Jay's discography? I'll tell you where he put it.
That's what I was gonna say. I remember his ranking. It's almost like
You memorized it?
yeah. I think it lines up directly with mine.
Yeah.
I don't think this was top 5. I think this was 6. Am I tripping?
Are you sure Academics? Is that your final answer?
All I know is it was Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, and I think he put Black. I always put Black Album up there.
Yeah.
Black Album. What was the 4th?
You know what
Maybe this was 4.
You know what I
Nah,
put
this
over
was
Black
actually
Album?
5.
It was 5?
Volume 2 is 4.
Volume
This is
2
5.
oh,
Volume
shit.
2 is my third favorite.
What was 6th?
Magna Carta.
That's the bottom for me.
I don't know if I would put that at 6, but
Magna Carta and Kingdom Come is the bottom.
well, yeah, he put Kingdom Come at 12. He's honest.
Do I put Magna Carta below Blueprint 3?
Oh.
Yeah, I put Black Magna Carta. Blueprint 3 had a few good songs in it.
Yo,
like,
he had a few songs where when he was subbing them niggas that used to be Rockefeller Brad, he was destroying them niggas.
absolutely.
Yo, he was destroying. He was destroying all. What's the name? The Thank You joint.
Thank You is fire.
That would have killed a couple niggas until they did. That's a classic verse.
Blueprint 3 has misses though. Like that joint with Drake is horrible.
Off that is trash.
Horrible.
All right.
Super trash.
Well, speaking of misses, can we actually do this fan question then? I think this is perfect. What's the biggest letdown you ever had with albums from some of your favorite artists? Not to say anything they put out was bad, but rather just didn't meet your own personal expectations. You know, me personally, Yeezus and DA.
I'm gonna say one that probably neither one of y'all not or even know.
Who's the artist? Let me see if I can name the album.
Cannabis.
Go ahead.
You got it.
Cannabis' first album, yo, was the biggest letdown for me.
How's his first album let down?
His first album, because I'm gonna tell you why. So Cannabis, all right, he was all over DJ Clue tapes. Every verse he did was like insane. Like every verse he did was every freestyle. Clues put him at the top of the tapes. The top of being at Clues tape was like almost being on fucking Rap Caviar.
Yeah.
Right at this time, like when I was a kid. So it's like in high school we going crazy, we arguing. Yo, he gonna be better than Jay. I thought he was gonna be better than Jay, better than Mace. Like he was. And then he has the second round knockout record when he disses LL Cool J and all of that shit. Big moment on the fucking 4 3 2 1 joint with LL where he dissed him. This nigga dropped his album and it was like the worst debut album with all the hype ever.
Wow.
That was the biggest disappointment as a rap fan for me.
Damn. And how long ago was that?
Shit, that's like 90, 98.
Wow. That one really stuck with you.
Yeah, I mean, I was 15 at the time. I was 15 at the time. That shit was, yeah, it was tough.
Wow.
That was tough because we would bet money like as kids, like, yo, I bet you lunch tomorrow that this nigga gonna have the best album. And da-da-da-da. That shit was bad, yo.
Hung his head in shame in the playground. Act as an album
That was my
lover.
biggest disappointment. Cannabis first album.
This is a hard question because some of the albums that I would have probably named grew on me after time. Like I would have said Massacre, but I like the Massacre now. You know, like I think at the time, like, you know, there was mixed reviews of it, but because he just came off Get Rich or Die Trying. But like having seen him drop Curtis, Before I Self-Destruct, Massacre's not
Before I
bad.
Self-Destruct is one of 50's most slept on albums, yo. That's a really good album.
50's albums aren't that bad. Like, you know, like I think people look at the drop, but it's the drop off from like being super mainstream and like essentially
This
pop.
is a good question. Nadeska, what's yours?
I can't say it.
So you
J.
can't
Cole
say
shit?
it?
I can't say it.
Alright, it's J. Cole, bro.
I can't
What's
say it.
the
It's
shit
just
that
like,
came before that last one?
stop. Catch me in Whole Foods. This is where I have all my rap
I would say that. No, I'm say.
Oh, For Your Eyes Only.
Why are
For
you
Your
guys?
Eyes Only
Why are you
was-
guys
There
just
you go.
speculating?
No, but
I said
for
I'm
me-
not saying it.
Listen, for me, For Your Eyes Only is another one. That's another one for me.
I've always defended like sometimes albums that are slept on by
Because
people.
you know why?
I defended that.
I'm gonna
album.
tell you why.
That's why I know you don't like it. Because you used to be like, you tripping.
All right, I'm saying it for me.
One was speaking on his own behalf.
All right, because For Your Eyes Only is
They gonna
another one
send
for
this to
me.
J. Cole.
Whatever, look. Because after Forest Hills Drive, and after that nigga made Be Free, after Be Free, I thought he was gonna have the most like conscious, tear-jerking album ever, and it was not that for me.
I'll talk about it one day.
I would say, actually, The Pimp a Butterfly, man.
To Pimp a Butterfly?
Even though, well, here's
Okay.
Here why I'm torn on that. Because to keep it real, I do think like just technically and just rap wise, it's one of his best albums, but it's my least favorite.
Your least favorite. Okay.
Least favorite by far. Like I was listening to this shit like, yo, man, I'd rather go read a book, bro. Like, what the hell? But again, I call that one.
Yeah.
Really?
I can't think about anyone for Drake though.
I can understand the
You can't
shock
think
of
about
that,
one
but
for
I would
Drake?
never put it in that bucket.
Drake for me. All right. I
was gonna
got
say-
one letdown for Drake.
Are you guys
for
gonna
me.
say More Life?
I was gonna say Thank Me Later.
Thank Me Later.
Wait.
Because he was like the fucking rap
Oh, yeah, you
prodigy.
don't
and I
like that
wa-
album
like,
that much.
I think.
Oh, that's the first album.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
It's
about
the
to say.
first-
Okay.
Yo, his first album.
You're supposed to come with the Reasonable Doubt, bro. The
Nah, bro.
Illmatic,
His
bro.
first,
Stop
his
playing with
first
me.
album. Because you know why too? Because he changed so many songs on there. Like Fireworks, the leak of Fireworks is way better than the one that goes on the album, where Alicia Keys sings the hook on the shit. And he on the actual Fireworks, he sings the hook, and then she says, "All I see is fireworks" at the end. Like, it's just Thank Me Later. That was another letdown for me.
Sorry, Orbs.
Sorry,
That was a letdown. But he got back right with Take Care after that.
Yeah.
Like he didn't hit
Nah,
a
of
soft.
course.
He didn't
Like,
hit a
I wish-
sophomore slump.
Yeah, I wish that was the fucking freshman joint. I'm just considered Thank Me Later as a mixtape. Screw it.
Oh, I got one more.
Wait, no, what the?
No, I got one more. I
You
ain't
were
gonna
so
lie,
moved by
man. I
Candace.
hate
Now
to
you
do
got
it.
a
I
whole
hate
list?
to do it. I got
Alright,
one more.
Who is it?
Wiz Khalifa, yo.
Which album?
Rolling Papers. Because you know what it was?
That's off the mixtapes.
He set the bar so high on Cushion Orange Juice that I thought Rolling Papers was gonna be like the same exact thing with just a little bit better beats. And while it wasn't a horrible album, it just wasn't Cushion Orange Juice.
Yeah, Cushion OJ is too perfect.
Cushion Orange Juice. If Cushion Orange Juice was his first album, it's like redrafting a draft. Like
There is that Cuddy album. There's that Cuddy album when niggas was just waiting for the next Man on the Moon and he said, nah, hold up.
The third one, and then he took the
one where he's sitting like this on the cover.
Yeah.
Mr. Ranger.
Isn't that two? That's the second one. That one's
You like that album?
It's cool.
I ain't like
It's
that
not as
album.
good as the first one, but that's
You know
not
what I'm
where.
doing, right? Like, yeah,
That's not where it went left. Yeah, hold on. Is this the one with Michael Bolton on it? There have been
know.
some
Who on it?
interesting twists and turns here. All right, but once we stop rolling, I'm gonna tell you guys who my most disappointing is.
We know.
Are you talking about Wizard?
Wizard was, oh
I
my
think that
God, that was bad.
Wizard
had
had
one
Wizard,
good,
and then there was
Wizard had
Indica.
one good song though.
Let's see.
Teleport
What
to
was
me.
the good song?
Teleport to me was my favorite
It
song.
came right after the Man on the Moon, so.
Yeah, the second one was cool. I still listen to it.
That's good. We already said yours. Like,
No, you did. Anyway, albums to look forward to next year. So during a recent interview with NPR, Megan Thee Stallion confirmed that she's going to drop her official debut project next year, and she's going to reveal a new alter ego. And then last Friday,
Stop hating Academics.
what's up?
go ahead.
What's the
Stop
problem?
hating.
What's
Nah,
the problem?
alter ego.
What's the problem?
She has a couple of them already. Tina Snow and such. All right, and last Friday, while he was headlining the Day in Vegas festival, J. Cole also teased that he's going to be dropping a project called The Fall Off sometime next year. Hopefully soon next year.
Hey, man.
Hope we get a fucking Kendrick Lamar album. I can't take it no more.
Can't take it.
For real.
Hey, well, you know, I do want to hear what J. Cole got coming up, but I will say, man, salute to my man Carl Crawford, man. Rock Nation, the Big Bad Wolf, is trying to steal Megan Thee Stallion from him. So I stand with Carl. I stand with the, the underdog.
That was very industry insider. No one knows what you're talking about, dog, except the executive.
I'm no friend to none of y'all niggas.
No, I don't know him.
He's changed. I told you guys he's changed.
I don't know him, but you know what? Like, I always wonder when all these motherfuckers pop up, who the fuck is signing them? And I was wondering, like, how the fuck Megan Thee Stallion come out of nowhere? Turns out it's a fucking baseball player with a loaded wallet who was pushing her. Now
She ain't come out of nowhere, though.
No. But I'm talking about on the mainstream level.
Oh, yeah,
I just saw a lot of money put behind her real quick.
Yeah.
Of course she was grinding.
But she signed to 300.
300, like, come on, man. I'm giving homie credit, and then I seen the little management thing. I'm just saying, I'm watching, man. I like to watch a little thing. Now, yo, listen. I'm the nigga who don't really get invited to like the dinner, but I'm like the fucking waiter, so I can peek behind and see what's going on.
Stop believing the lies.
I gets invited to everything.
He has changed.
He will not show up.
He's invited, exactly. He doesn't want to come. He only takes calls and takes some trips to LA every once in a while.
I could go to a fucking black tie affair dressed like this and they would let him in.
Sure.
Dressed like this and they would let him in.
Yo,
what?
All the industry events they invite y'all to, they don't invite me to. I guarantee it.
Lies.
They invite y'all and then ask y'all about me.
You got invited, they do, but you got invited to Wyoming.
Wyoming? Oh yeah, but I just
you could have been jumping up and down by the bonfire.
Kanye was just trying to do what Nicki should be trying to do. Like he was just trying to persuade the media instead of saying fuck the media. That's what he was trying to do at that time.
Academics is industry. That's all I'm saying.
Y'all do know, right? Anytime a artist say come out to like hear the album, it means I'm giving you the exclusive preview that you're not gonna say. Like, you're not going to tell me to my face is fucking trash, so you're not going to go on your platforms and call it fucking trash.
You would have did that.
I would have did that. No, but you know that's why they're saying it in mine. I'm going to get you mad drunk, pause, you get me? But you're going to listen to my new album, talk to your little friends, and by the time you're done with it, you think I have a good album.
Did you notice that act pause is more than I do?
Yeah, it's unnecessary levels
of
pausing.
You know why? Because every time when I'm talking, there's a fucking Instagram clip pops up of Wayno just making these like, he's going through, he's having facial spasms, like.
Yo, it's early in the morning, man. They're not paying us to act.
For real. So I'm like, let me just say a couple pause. Because they'll get like 10 seconds and be like, yo, Ack is tripping. I'm like.
Nah, he posted a clip yesterday. I was like, is this in slow motion or is this really how this shit happened? It's actually pretty good.
Wayno got a different editor.
Yo, people is mad that I don't want to do cocaine. Like, people like, yo, what's wrong with him asking if you do coke? Like,
nah, man.
People is really mad at me
really
that I'm not an advocate. Because I had somebody tell me that, oh, but you sell. I don't celebrate selling drugs. Selling drugs is not cool. And niggas using it.
That's why y'all have my man Kanye out here calling out Meek Mill on the low. Because it's hypocrisy.
What about the natural drugs? Look, Drake's about to open a weed business. Are we going to finally do this, Academics?
Wait, Kanye
more
calling people hypocrites?
Yeah. No. Kanye doing his whack 100 thing. He's like, yo, why Meek getting all the love? Like, what's up with my shit? Like, let me get some love over here, man. It's like, yo, this nigga, he's preaching prison reform, and he's pimping bitches, and he's talking about jewelry. Like, yo, you gotta let it happen sometimes.
You got to stop, man.
You ain't seen it? You seen it?
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
Hope you guys have an amazing
Upper management is in my ear now.
I've been watching Meek's Mill Twitter. I've been watching shit.
Yo, start fading the lights. You guys have an amazing weekend.
I've been watching Meek's Twitter. Like, I thought he was gonna get that nigga 16 on the tweets, but like, yo, literally, all Meek do, he's like, yo, I'm gonna buy your school. I'm like, fuck.